Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Galton, and I had President Clark, Elder Clark now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Elder Clark. He was born March 20th, 1949. He served a full-time mission in South Germany. He married Sue Lorraine Hunt in 1971, and they have 7 children. Elder Clark received his Bachelor of Arts degree in 1974 and a Master of Arts degree in 1977 and a PhD in 1978, all in economics and from Harvard University. Fun fact, he did attend BYU for a short time after his mission, but decided to go back to Harvard to finish his education. He does always say he's grateful for going to BYU for a short time because that's where he met his wife. His academic career, he became a member of the faculty at Harvard Business School in 1978 and was named dean of that school in 1995. He served in that capacity until the summer of 2005. In 2005, he was made president of BYUI by President Hinckley, and he served as president until 2015. Fun fact, I was actually 15 at the time, and my dad works at BYU Idaho, so I remember the switch from President Bednar to President Clark, and it was really cool. I got to be at his inauguration and to see him take over the responsibility as president of the school. It was just cool. So just a fun fact. He's was a very, very eloquent speaker. You can watch his inauguration address on YouTube, and I have included some clips of that. I would highly recommend watching it. Some of his church callings were bishop, scout leader, elders quorum president, Sunday school teacher, counselor, to the state mission president. He's in Area 70, and now he currently serves as a member of the first quorum of the 70 and the commissioner of church education. The only reason I listed these is because they show that he has had a lot of leadership positions in the church and out, but specifically in the church. He believed in leadership with a little L, leadership at every level of society. He said, "Our mission, our very purpose is to educate, develop, and prepare disciples of the Lord Jesus Christ. This purpose is deeply rooted in this university," meaning BYU Idaho. "The Lord watches over this university in a powerful way. Our purpose is to help them become his true followers, his true disciples, a light to the world. Leadership," he explained, has a small L. "We want our students to provide the kind of leadership that serves and inspires, first and foremost in their families and in the church, in their communities, and in their work." He quoted the words of Elder Henry B. Eyring from a devotional address in 2001 when he said, "Those graduates of BYU Idaho will become legendary for their capacity to build the people around them and to add value wherever they serve." And that's actually a clip from his inaugural address when he took over leadership at BYU Idaho. So he believed that leadership is not necessarily in the positions that we hold, but in our ability to change those around us, doing everyday things, being a mom, being a dad, being a bishop, being a teacher, being a friend. He believed that that is where leadership starts. He had 2 observations of leadership. Leadership is always a moral act. Leaders will always teach others about responsible leadership, whether they intend to or not. And I want you guys to think about those for a minute. Just think about what he might mean by that. And we're going to explore this paradox of me first. He gave a lecture at BYU Idaho, not BYU Idaho, at BYU, and he talked about how people in the business world tend to put me first, and the ways that the faculty at Harvard tried to change that. So we're going to go over to this YouTube clip, and forgive my lack of technology savvy. This is really the only way I could figure out how to do this. So we're going to watch this clip, and it is 4 minutes, but I would actually recommend watching this whole lecture. It is really, really interesting. So we're going to watch this 4-minute clip. So the paradox that he is talking about is the idea that in order to get ahead in life, you have to only care about yourself and not care about how you help other people and how other people can help you, and not necessarily seeing the benefits of that until after you've tried it for a while. So I want you guys to think about that for a little while. The paradox of me first, and why, how is that helpful in a business situation? How is that something that is going to make you a good leader? And how is that something that would make a business a better business? President Clark does go on to talk more about how that affected the rest of the faculty and how he was able to use that as an example of implementing, thinking about others and trying to help others. And it's just one of the methods of leadership that he talks about. These are the questions that I want you to think about. Do you have any experience with Elder Clark's paradox of me first in a personal setting or a professional setting? And it doesn't have to be you either. It could be an example of someone that you've seen that either puts themselves first or doesn't put themselves first. We would love to hear about it and discuss the different outcomes. What do you think are some of the challenges of little L leadership? Why do you think Elder Clark refers to leadership as a moral act? Hint on that one, watch the beginning of the clip that I just showed you, and he will talk more about that. And then if you could explain why you agree or disagree with him. And then the last one that you could kind of think about is, how can you teach responsible leadership, whether intentionally or not intentionally? And again, that is at the beginning of that lecture that I showed you. He talks about, you teach people how to be leaders, whether you mean to or not, and you teach them to be responsible and what is important, or to not be responsible and what is not important. So really interesting. So if you guys want to respond to those questions, these are my resources and references. And then these are some extra video clips at the very end of the slide. And I will post these slides and the questions. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. It was really fun working on this broadcast for you. President Clark is actually one of my favorite leaders, because he, when I was in school back many years ago before I got married, he was actually the president of BYU Idaho that I remember the most and that I related to the most. So I really enjoyed learning a little bit more about him, and I hope you did too.